Yo peeps. Now, before my beginner DJ tutorial series drops this Sunday, I thought let's go ahead and take a look at a DJ controller and take a look at the most important buttons you'll need for the basic transitions and basic mixes that I'm going to be teaching you in the tutorial series. And to do that, I first want to explain what this whole unit is, right? This is a DJ controller. Now, a DJ controller requires a laptop to operate, requires a laptop for power, right? It's unlike your CDJs and your standalone units, which have their own screens on them and their own power units built into them, right? This requires a laptop to operate. Now, I'm going to split this whole unit up into three separate parts. We've got deck 1 over here, we've got deck 2 on the right, and we've got our mixer section in the middle, right? Now, there are going to be features that I'm not covering in this episode. They will be covered in future episodes as we build on your knowledge, right? Now, taking a look at deck 1. Over here, we've got what we know as the jog wheel, right? Now, the jog wheel serves two different functions, right? Number one is, if you take a look on the sides here, we've got these little indentations here. These are what we use to nudge the track back and forward, right? So if you have small incremental mismatches in beats on both sides, you might flick this track forward just to make sure it's on time, right? Now, the second function of the jog wheel is the top of the jog wheel, right? This behaves like your traditional vinyl turntables, right? It has, when I put pressure on it and move it around, you hear that scratching sound. A lot of it is used by scratch DJs, hip-hop DJs to scratch songs in. And you can also use it for backspins, right? Swiftly moving on from there, we've got our play and pause and cue buttons, right? Play and pause, exactly as it says, it plays and pauses the track. Cue I like to think of as a gated play and pause, meaning if I tap on this, you're gonna hear a sound, but the track doesn't continue. If I tap and hold, the track plays, and as soon as I let go, it stops. So DJs mostly use this for timing, when bringing a new track in. Then these 8 buttons here, or 12 buttons here, we're gonna skip over. These are your performance pads, right? As well as this section up here, we're gonna skip over as well. This is your looping section. We will cover these in their own individual videos in future episodes, right? Moving on, we've got this bad boy right here. This is the pitch fader / tempo fader, right? This controls the speed and the pitch of a song, right? So from the middle, moving it down is speeding up the song and increasing the pitch, and from the middle moving down or up, is decreasing the speed of the song and the pitch, right? Now, that's basically it regarding the deck section, right? Now, obviously, your more expensive gear has more buttons along the sides and more features, right? But those are the basic features you need to get beat matching, right? Moving on to the mixer section. Now, you'll see that there's 2 banks of buttons on either side. This bank controls the left side and this bank controls the right side, right? So taking a look at these 3 buttons right here, 1, 2, and 3. This is what's known as your 3-band EQ. If you can see there, it's written high, mids, and lows, right? These are your high, mid, and low frequencies, right? So if I play a song now, and I get rid of the low frequencies, we get rid of the bass, we get rid of the kicks. If I get rid of the mids, we get rid of the instruments, we get rid of the vocals, any mid-range frequencies. And if I get rid of the highs, I get rid of the hi-hats, I get rid of that sound, right? And if I bring it back and bring back the bass, so that's what your EQ section does, right? It controls each individual frequency level, right? Now, the button below it is known as your filter knob, right? This I like to think of as it controls your high and your low frequencies in one knob, but also adds a little bit of reverb and resonance for that extra little bit of spice, right? So if I play the song again and I move the knob to the right, you're gonna see we're left with the high frequencies. You just turn that down a bit. And if I move it back to the left, you're gonna see we're just left with the bass and the low frequencies. Right? So that controls these 2, the low and the high frequencies, in one knob with extra spice and resonance, right? Moving below that, we've got our channel faders, right? These are your volume for each individual channel, essentially, right? Crossfader, not going to talk about, never use it. I wish I could rip it off, but for the sake of, keeping the aesthetics, I won't. Then we've got headphone controls. These 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all of your headphone controls, including this as well, right? Now, the cues are to allow you to hear what is playing out to play in your earphones, right? So if I have a song on the right here that I don't want to play to this crowd, that I want to bring in, I would smack the cue button, and then I would be able to hear it only on my headphones. The track is playing now, but you can't hear anything on the speakers, right? See what I'm saying? So that's how you get sound in your headphones, and these are the volume controls for your headphones, essentially. I'm not going to overcomplicate this button too much yet. We'll speak about it in a future episode when we cover these two buttons here as well as this. This is your overall master volume, right? This controls what's going out to your speakers, right? These are gain or trim knobs, which we will cover when we, like I said, when we cover gain and trims. Then we've got this section over here. This is our effects section, right? Again, not going to cover this in this episode. This will have its own dedicated episode, because there's a lot that you can do here to free up your creativity within your mixes. Last three buttons I want to take a look at are right at the top here. These are how you load and control the tracks and Rekordbox software from here. So if I spin this knob now, you'll see that I'm scrolling through my library, and I can scroll through my playlists and all of that, right? And these two buttons here are used to load the track to either the left deck or the right deck, right? So that pretty much covers the basic buttons you're gonna need to understand when I'm referencing them in the tutorial series dropping this Sunday at 6 o'clock Central African time. Be there. Peace.